Hey guys, I am so excited to walk you through this first pass at your 3D model. Just a couple of quick caveats. This model is really just meant as an exterior massing model, meaning we're trying to focus the attention on the outside shape of the home and the window configuration. We're not really focused on cabinetry looks or the bathroom layouts or anything like that yet. Though you might see hints of those elements inside, the main purpose of this is to make sure that we've got the shape of the home right. And once we're sure that we've got the general shape of the home, the roof slopes, the height of spaces, things like that, then we'll start delving into some finer detail, such as like the exterior material palette and the final window configurations and things like that. So what I've got on the screen right now is the floor plan that you've already seen and that you're very familiar with, just to give us a little bit of orientation and context. I'll minimize this now. And now we're looking at the SketchUp 3D model. So this is the same floor plan just for context, but we're not really focusing too much on the interior aspects. So I'll go ahead and turn the roof on. And really, we don't care too much about this view. When are we ever going to see this view of the home? Let's take a look at what this looks like standing back at the entry gate. So here's the long view of the property. The driveway right now is just the same color as the rest of the land. We'll focus on the materials for that later, but you can get a sense for there. This is that turnout for the fire truck access road. And we've got the existing trees shown. We've got a more or less panoramic view of the property imported into this model. And in the foreground here, we're seeing the existing structure that's been cut back. The garage portion of it has been removed, and the front part here has been converted into a garage. So let's step forward now. We'll approach the home and turn a little bit here. And now we're getting a sense for the front entry and garage. So you'd enter the garage this way. Um, Here's that existing porch element. You know, uh, maybe we keep it, maybe we don't. It's really up to you. I could see wanting to keep it. The only caveat I have about wanting to keep this element here is that I hope it doesn't draw too much attention away from what really is the new front entry for the home. So I think maybe some sort of screening element, maybe some sort of lattice work or fence work along the side of the porch here might make sense. But I want to hear more thoughts about you from you about whether or not you're ever going to invite people through this door into the office space here. So let's talk more about that and talk about whether or not you want to keep this front porch element. Um, as we approach the garage here, we're seeing just the existing roof, which is about a 4.5 in 12 pitched roof. You'll see in the rest of the model, I've picked up and used this pitch for a majority of the rest of the house, typically or specifically the bedroom wings and the master bathroom and kitchen area. The great room here has a different slope roof, which we'll see here. This is a bit of a shallower roof, and the purpose for that is when we get into the family room, this roof slope is just going to continue straight up and really give us a lot of vaulted ceiling area, a lot of high ceiling area. And I don't want to use the same 4.5 and 12 slope because that takes us too ludicrously tall. So I think a 3 and 12 here works much, much better. But what we're seeing here now is the entry door to your home, framed by these two entry columns. And as we go up these four stairs here, we'll get up to the higher level because, as we talked about before during the plan element, the existing house is at a much lower grade level than the grade back here. So because the grade of your lot goes up so much towards the beautiful hills here, we need to raise the floor level up. And that's how we're achieving this through these steps here. And then the rest of the house is at that level. So here again, we're looking at the front entry door. There's enough area underneath this really deep overhang that you can easily fit some porch furniture while still having the ability to walk around and get into that side yard area. So now as we approach the front door, you'll see that the front door area is recessed in here, which is a nice way to draw the eye and bring people to the front door. But we'll also see that there is a gate area here, which will give you immediate access into the courtyard. Should you be hosting a party in the courtyard, you could just let people come right through this door right here. Stepping into the courtyard, I'm so excited about this. I love the fact that we were able to situate the house in a way to hopefully make this tree survive. The fact that we're building within the drip line of this tree does mean that we'll have to get an arborist involved to evaluate how do we build around this tree and keep it alive. That may not be possible. Not every tree will do well when we excavate, when we dig down for the new foundations. But the fact is that this courtyard is actually being built a bit higher up than the root zone. So perhaps we don't actually have to cut any roots to build the foundation around here. Plus, the tree does have a lean, it leans away from the house. So I think with an arborist recommendation, we might stand a really good chance of letting this mature tree provide some instant mature shading for your courtyard table and for the courtyard itself. I'm really excited about this. And when we turn around, something else that I'm really excited about is the fact that the existing house is so much lower than this courtyard that we really get a lot of sense of foliage from these three trees, these mature trees right here that exist along this front edge of the house. We really get to see and appreciate that foliage over this roof, which is really relatively low. That's something that I'll be honest, I wasn't really thinking of the view of the foliage here, but I was really, really happy to see that in this model. So now we're turned around. So here we can see all around. These are just, it's a courtyard surrounded by glass. These three doors open into the hallway. This one leads directly into the prayer room here, the vaulted prayer room. Here are those stairs down that lead to the lower level, the hallway that leads to that new front door, not front door, but that side door, that extra door at the front of the existing structure. And then, these are nice, consistent 8 foot tall, 6 foot wide sliding glass doors surrounding this courtyard, just flooding the interior with light. And even through the courtyard doors, we can see through the other windows in the family room to see and appreciate the hills beyond. But we can't see, well, here we're getting a sense, we see a little bit of the new trees I'm planting. And here you can see those concrete tubes where the firefighters' practice area is, or where they leave some of their practice materials. I'm screening that, but you can see that by being in the courtyard and screening through this glass, we really don't have a sense for that neighbor or the dog kennel neighbor. So I'm again super floored with how this courtyard is situated. There's only one other sort of one-off window here, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. This is the window that would provide light into the lower level laundry room. Here's the door from the garage. Here's the door leading into the hallway. Again, it's not perfectly mocked up. It's not an interior model yet, but do we want to have a window here where people could look into your laundry room, or would we be better off just popping a little skylight in here? Let me know what you think. There's one other skylight in the courtyard, and that one would be bringing light into that powder room. The powder room would be right here. So there's a door that I haven't modeled yet. This is a landlocked room. This door, and again, I'll mock it up on the next model. There could be a door here with frosted glass, or we can just bring light in through a skylight. I would recommend doing the skylight just because, well, I don't know. I could go either way on it, to be honest with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So let's talk about that when we meet to discuss this model. So now here are the doors that would lead to the family room, the dining area, and directly connecting into the kitchen. So I'm going to take us inside the model real quick. Please, again, understand this is super rough. I don't mean to imply that the fireplace will be yellow or that you're going to go with a yellow kitchen. These are just the quick rough ups for me to respond to. Um, but here at the entry hall, the door opens here, and we have a low height screen wall that screens the living area. This area would be vaulted. This takes off from, I want to say this is probably a 9 foot wall, but the center of the vault here goes all the way up to above 12 feet. So you wind up with an average height of about 11 and a half feet, I want to say. Um, yeah, about 10 and a half maybe. But I think it's a nice shape for the intimacy of this smaller living room and the smaller entry area. But then when we turn the corner, and even here the dining room, we can have a nice pendant hanging down here above the dining table. But then the the vaulted ceiling, which is continuous from the entry area towards the family room, then it takes off and allows for these really tall, really large clear story windows opening up to that beautiful sky and the beautiful views of those mature oak trees that you have out in the distance on that parkland. And again, though we do have to be concerned about the view of the fire department debris here, I would say let's add some screening trees, some dense screening trees just to, in the distance at your property line, just to screen that. And then I'm not concerned about it at all. So again, this is a very quick mock-up of these interior spaces, but I'm really quite happy with the height. And so here, though, the height at the maximum would be all the way up at about 15 feet. And I'm really floored with that. Okay, so now let's head back outside and talk about some additional features for the outside of the home. So you could come up these stairs, come around this porch furniture, and then you could be in this sort of southern porch area. We've got a seating area here, flanked by sliding glass doors, all coming under this new pergola feature. This isn't something that we talked about during the floor planning exercise, but this came about after thinking about this in 3D. I think it'd be nice to be able to incorporate something like this just to provide some shade on the southern side. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether you like something like that. Then we've got the really dramatic space. This is the big wow moment for the home, I think, is this elevation here where we've got the two-sided fireplace flanked by sliding glass doors that opens out onto a dining area with this really dramatic vaulted roof element here, corner glass windows, and then these large windows here just above a built-in seating area. Um, Maybe there'd be some cushions on here or something like that, but this would make, I think, for a very dramatic space. Taking a look at the family room here. So I know that you're going to be entertaining a lot in this yard area. And so I wanted to perhaps think about providing some screening elements for your master bathroom and your master bedroom, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. In this view here, we're seeing the kitchen window and this one side door that would lead out into this side area. This might be a great spot to put a little barbecue station. Let me know what you think about that. But just to give you a sense for the view looking out the kitchen window, I think it's pretty nice. And again, I think with the screening walls here, I think this screen planting would be important if you have any concerns about privacy to the bedroom while you're hosting large parties. If you don't have concerns, we could certainly omit this planter screen. And I think that would also be something to talk about more in detail together when we're live together. But then when we look at the master suite here, I'm really happy with this too, that we've got this same sort of corner glass treatment that we're doing at other parts of the home. And though the walls in the master are set at a nice consistent 9 foot for the rest of the house, the ceiling in all of these bedroom spaces vaults up, and it vaults up to a height of 11 foot 10, so almost 12 feet again. So I think there's going to be enough volume in these rooms that it'll feel really, really nice. And the views from the master are really, really, really special. You know, we've got a little bit of a view of that structure there. Not too big of a deal. I think we can continue the screening wall, the screen trees, over until that element is screened from the bed. But, you know, we could talk more about that again. Let's see, let's continue. Let's look at the a little higher elevation. So now, in addition to the corner glass looking out towards that view there, I would also propose just to keep the corner glass motif going. So I'm also showing some corner glass here as well, flanking the fireplace element in your bedroom. Here now we're looking at sort of that side patio area for that secondary bedroom. And we're also seeing a small skylight here that would bring light into your closet space. We could also incorporate a window here as well, but I think that maybe just takes away a little bit of the storage capacity of the room. Um, I don't know. Again, we could go either way. Skylights are less energy efficient than doing a window. So if you are willing to put a window here high up on the elevation, that might be better than doing a skylight. But, you know, we could talk about that. So this would be sliding glass doors leading into the vaulted bedroom, number two. And then this would be a window just above the toilet for the bathroom on this side. So this volume sticking out, this is the bathroom volume for the two bedrooms. And both of those bedrooms, or both of those bathrooms have windows above their toilets here, rather than putting windows right here, right up against this tree. And again, just like I mentioned with this courtyard tree, I worry about building within the footprint or the drip line of this one tree here. I feel like that tree might have to be removed. But if it doesn't have to be removed, it's going to provide a lot of shading. And we're already on the north side of the home anyways. So instead of putting the windows above the showers, looking right out onto this foliage, I think it'd be better to put a larger window just above the toilet to bring more light into the space rather than putting the windows right here um, directly in the foliage of that tree. Now what we're seeing here is that I guess this would be the third patio space that serves both the third guest bedroom, again with a sliding glass door leading into the vaulted bedroom space, and a window into the bathroom. But then here's another sliding glass door that leads into the prayer room. So here I wonder if we need to also consider doing a little bit of a screen treatment between these two spaces, between the bedroom and the prayer room. I would think not. I think based on how you told me the prayer room is going to be used, I think it might be nice for the parents staying in this room to have the option to go to the prayer room through the hallway, the interior hallway, or just step out into the fresh air and just take a quick jaunt through these sliding glass doors. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts there as well. But I think this is shaping out to be really nice. Let's see here. Now, just like we have in the courtyard, this patio space is much higher in elevation than the existing office space. I have no problem with that, but what I don't want to do is put a large window into this space here. But I want to hear a little more detail about how you're going to use these rooms. Right now, I'm interpreting this as an office that has corner windows on definitely this side to appreciate these trees. And this is an existing wall, so I have no concerns about this wall being here or this tree having to be taken out. This is the existing volume. But perhaps, you know, do we want to have any sliding glass doors for this other room? Or could this just be windows? I don't know. Maybe we want to have two pairs of sliding glass doors so that both of these spaces could empty out onto or walk out onto this side yard. I know you have a lot of plans to make this a very lush space. So let's talk about that. Let's see here. And then coming up just one more time and appreciating the bird's eye view, I think this is really, really a fantastic space. One thing I wanted to talk about too, real quick, is the master bathroom. So in the floor plan, I had shown um, the two cabinets like this with the glass door bisecting the two cabinets, but I wasn't really happy with what I was getting in terms of glazing above the mirrors. So now what I would propose to do is let's rotate one cabinet to be at against this wall, which allows me the opportunity to incorporate more glass here. I just think that's going to look and feel a little bit better, um, especially from, when we're enjoying, the bath. I think looking out of a wider bit of glass here, full height, will feel much better than what I was showing in the floor plan. So this is the one minor change that I'd like to consider with you, based on this floor plan or the 3D modeling exercise. Other than that, I'm extremely happy with this. Obviously, there's a lot more detail to go, but I want to hear your guys' feedback on the general direction being taken here. So let's schedule a meeting to go over this. Thank you guys very much.